Hi. Now, you've probably seen the video I did in the past about seed saving. That was with letting the seed actually dry out, and someone sent me an email about seed saving in regards to tomatoes, peppers, things like that. So what I'm going to do today, I'm going to show you how I save tomato seeds each year. So all you need is your cutting board, of course, a couple of nice organic tomatoes out of your garden, and paper towel. Now, all I do, just rip a couple of pieces off. I'll do one just for the video. Alright, put that aside. Now, just grab your tomato. These are still a little bit firm. They're the last ones of the season, pretty much. Cut the top off, and then just squeeze it out. Alright, so you're getting all the seeds to come out, like you'd do it when you were making a pasta or any kind of sauce, just to de-seed it a little bit. Alright, now, this is all I do. Put your paper towel down. It's easy with a teaspoon, I should have grabbed one, and just grab the seeds and plonk them on there. Now, I normally do about 3 or 4 in a row. Now, you just want them in rows about 3 centimetres apart, because I'll just finish this. What's going to happen is, I'll just do one more. Alright, now, so you've got your seeds on there, like just individual seeds, right? Now, they're just stuck on. You can see them probably just transparent on there. Now, they'll stick to the paper, nice and easy. You can see they're not coming off. And all I do is just put the paper towel with the seeds on there, arranged on there in rows. It only took me a couple of seconds. And like, how many tomato plants do you want to grow? If you only want about, I usually do about 4 sheets with about 16 seeds on each one. So that's what, like close to 50 seeds. Put this aside for about 2 days, 3 days. Keep it out of the sunlight. Just put it somewhere where it's going to be just nice and cool, and let it just kind of dry out, but not in heat. You don't want it on direct heat. Or don't put it anywhere high, especially during, like now, it's getting a bit cold. Obviously heat rises, you don't want it in a hot part. All I do with mine is I just put them in my bookshelf, just on top of the books, for about 3 days, 4 days. What will happen is, they'll dry out, they'll stay attached to the actual paper towel, and then all I do is just fold it up, and that's it. And then I sometimes just put them in a book, a gardening book or something like that. I put it away, or I put it in a brown paper bag and just put it on top of a cupboard or something like that, and I just forget about it till next season. But what will happen is, these will just dry out naturally. They won't kind of cook, they'll just kind of hibernate as such. And then next season, when you come around to plant your tomato seeds again, grab them out, go out into the garden. Now, what I like to do when I'm doing it, you know, you can get those trays, you've probably seen them on some of the videos. You get them in nurseries, and you can buy them at hardware stores and stuff like that. They keep the seedling punnets in. Now, what I normally do, I have one of those. I'll put a layer of potting mix or something like that on the base, just damp it a little bit, and then I'll lay this straight on top. So just plonk that onto the soil, cover it with soil again, probably about 2 centimetres, 20 mil on top, and just keep it moist and water it as per normal with planting seeds. And what will happen is, you'll get a pretty good strike rate. I reckon generally about 85% of my seeds will come up. So always have more seeds than you actually want. So if you want to plant 4 tomato plants, don't just keep 4 seeds, try and keep about 15, just to be on the safe side, because it's easy to keep the seeds, it's easy to plant them, and not all of them will strike, so you want to make sure that you're actually keeping them. So, once you've put that in, keep watering it, and the beauty of it all is, the easiness, is that each little seedling will come up individually in rows. So when you're thinning them out to get the stronger ones to plant into the grounds, into the garden, you don't have to separate heaps of them. Like, you know, sometimes you have about 4 or 5 all in a row and you damage half of them. the strike rate will be the same regardless, and each one will come up in its little row. So when they get to about 75 mil high, the initial kind of feeder leaves have died back off, and the real leaves have come through, like the natural tomato shaped leaves have come through. Then you can just pull them out, thin them out, and then just plant them wherever you want in the garden. So it's really easy. You don't have to worry about putting too many seeds in a row or anything like that. So that's it. That's how I do mine. Just place them on the you only need 2 tomatoes, and that's more than enough seeds if you've had a good crop. So just keep a couple of tomatoes, keep the seeds, and put them on the paper towel. Let it dry out for a few days, somewhere out of the sunlight, and then I just fold mine up and put them in a book, and then next year I bring them out and I just plant them again. If you don't have one of those little punnets to put it in, you can actually put it straight into the garden. I've done that once or twice in the past, and it was pretty good, but I prefer to have them in their own little segregated spot, just to raise them like under cover, somewhere nice. So, and then when they come up, and then I just take them out and I put them back into the garden. If you're really, really full on, if you're starting you've got cold weather or something like that, you can keep them in the tray for a while and just bring them out periodically so they get used to the weather if they're in a greenhouse or something like that. Cool. Easy. So that's how I keep my tomato seeds. And you can do the same thing with other like wet seeds like cantaloupe, melons, anything that's kind of pulpy, where it'll actually stick to the paper, and then you can just let it dry out, for lack of a better word, and then you can just keep them to next season. Alright, so I hope that answers the question with the seed saving of tomatoes. Now, I'll be back, I'll do a couple more videos on how I do save other seeds, but a lot of other seeds are pretty much the same as the last video. I let them dry out a little bit out of the sun, and then I just keep them in a brown paper bag and just chuck them in the cupboard basically. And then next year I'll label them, of course. Next year bring them out, plant them, and off I go again. But that's what I do with tomatoes. Cool. Any questions? Just give me a yell. Cool? Alright. Oh, and the other thing I should mention too, try and keep an eye, if you plant different types of tomatoes, like say you had Apollos and Groslis, and you found that the Apollos were really good, make sure that you keep the seeds of the tomatoes that you want. So don't kind of pick all your tomatoes and then you've got a glut of tomatoes and you think, oh, I can't remember which one was which, because you might end up with all of ones next season that you didn't really like this season. So try and keep them the separate ones that you want, or if you've got certain heirloom tomatoes or whatever, anything like that, just keep a record, grab the tomato that you want to keep the seeds, put them away, and then you don't have to worry about it. Next year you'll have the same tomatoes again. Cool. As I said, any questions, just give me a yell. Cool. Thanks for watching. I'll see you soon.